time on WildChild, you saw us motor through the fog to the port of Rimouski, where we finally got a rest in an actual marina. And this is when things get scary. I have Michelle on the cell phone trying to maybe call somebody to get local information. We're entering the port of Rimouski basically completely blind, so we use our instruments the best we can. The radar looking for local traffic, AIS showing me a sailboat coming out, a port over here, forward scan looking at the depth and looking ahead for any underwater obstacles. We have 32 feet of water for sure and around 30 feet at the nose. No obstacles in front. We're looking below the water, directly below the boat, on the radar on the surface, and on the chart plotter. The problem is, the port of Rimouski has a commercial port that's 18 feet deep and a marina that's 6 feet deep at low tide or 7 feet deep at low tide, where the high-speed ferry that goes 25 knots is. You can see from the tide information box, the tide is at 7 feet above zero and dropping, so the tide is going down. So any depth you see on the chart plotter, you have that plus 7 right now. We found so far that the tide information is reasonably accurate. All of the current information is completely wrong. So we're going blind into a port we've never been before, and all we see in every direction is just the blind soup of fog. And we only have about 100 feet of visibility going into an unknown marina, into an unknown port, into unknown waters. There's no way I'd do this without instruments. Even with instruments, we don't know what's actually there. After one night of rest in the Marina Rimouski, we continued on our way. This seemed to be the last time things were easy for us. Everything from here on out just constantly gets harder. So after Rimouski, the plan was to go a one-day travel to Matane, and from there a one-day travel to Cap Chat. You can see the sailing conditions were pleasant that morning when we left Rimouski Marina, and that's Rimouski Marina in the background.
The sun shining on the building. So between those two buildings, this is the Rimouski Marina. At Rimouski Marina, nice people there. They accommodate us, and so we refueled, topped the diesel tank. So fuel done. Get some more water, so we fill up our water tank, the jerry can too, so we're fuel, water, we're good. And anyway, and now it's a brilliant, nice sun, sky, sunny. It's on the colder a little bit, but it's still sunny. The wind is 15 knots. It's supposed to shift to north more. And in a few days, for Thursday and Friday near Gaspé, nasty weather, nasty wind. So we're trying to get there before so we can hide and relax and to be safe, basically. So that's the situation. When you think about it, there's no place to hide, basically. There's Matane, so Matane is 40 miles from here. We should get there today, and after that Lexi was looking at the shore, and there's no island, there's not too much place that you can hide against nasty weather. So look at that, beautiful, easy sailing. So we'll enjoy the moment and the day. Because it's cold a little bit, we're taking shift of 2 hours. And we'll see what happens. Maybe we're going to continue doing a night shift, a night sail. So to recuperate a little bit of mileage, to get more mileage on the ground, to be to get to the corner of Presqu'île of the in front of Seven Island, basically on the south shore, before Thursday.
Basically, it was just a good day of sailing. And we sailed like this all day for about 11 hours until sunset. As we got closer to Matane, around sunset, we could see that it was a busy commercial port. It seemed busy with cranes and loading docks and large ships and stuff. We really didn't think they would welcome a sailboat among them. We decided that we would just go around the corner and use the protection of the break wall and drop the hook in the 11 feet of water. The winds that night were supposed to be from the southwest and below 10 knots. We set the hook after sunset, rose before sunrise, and just continued on.
Oh, you're there. There you go. It's, what time is it? 25 after 8?
8:30.
So, 8:30. So we dropped the anchor after. Yeah, we managed to get 44 nautical miles to do from Rimouski to Matane. Dropped the anchor. It was 8 o'clock. We were going to do night sailing, but the wind was dropping, and it's supposed to drop around 11. So, and turn, whirlwind. So forget it. So, good morning. So today, Wednesday, September 4 or 5. We lift the anchor at 6:30. It's now 10 after 7. The wind is 4 knot. The boat is doing 2.9 knot. Oh, not so bad. But today the goal is to make 44 nautical miles. So then, because they're supposed to have nasty weather coming our way tonight or later, depending on the forecast. There's always a difference in the time, but anyway, the forecast is for nasty weather for just one night, and that's it. After that, it's gone, and we can curve on the peninsula of SPZ.
You can see the sailing conditions that day were pretty calm, under gray skies and calm waters. The whole day was just sailing past miles and miles and miles of shoreline at the base of the Appalachian Mountains, pretty much like this. Every so often at the base of the Appalachian Mountains, you would find these little French fishing villages. Anytime there was any sort of valley or possible bay or place where any boat could ever anchor, that's where the fishing villages got themselves established.
Right there.
He's crossed us.
Yeah.
And of course, there's no rule that says the whales have to stick to only one specific area. We still had whale sightings throughout the next couple of days. Here somewhere.
Did you see it? It was right there, honey.
Oh.
Just a touch. Oh, you see his mouth? He's eating.
He's turned around. It's kind of funny, but you can see that I'm calmer about the whales now.
Wind now, compared to maybe an hour ago. Now we have on the nose, very tight, 12 knot of wind. WildChild's running at 4.6, 5 sometimes, but 4.7. and we have 23 nautical miles to do.
We are pretty hardcore sailors. As long as there's at least 4 knots of wind and the boat's moving 1 knot, we don't turn the motor on, we just sail. And of course, when things are calm, my favorite way to take the helm is with a podcast.
This is a CBC podcast.
This is the BBC.
This is the BBC.
The winds were pretty light that day, so we didn't make the miles that we wanted to. We ended up stopping about 5 miles short of Cap Shaw. We ended up just dropping the hook on the edge of the exposed shoreline. It was an iffy decision because we knew later that night there was nasty weather coming. We pretty much went straight into shore and anchored off some of the worst, rockiest beach ever. This was the night of the beer foam story. Things went nasty.
The wind is there now. It seems that my focus, when I close up, zoom, doesn't work this time.
Okay guys, now I want to give you a better idea of sort of where we are, the vulnerability of the position that we're in. I've got the map oriented, the chart plotter's oriented north up, so the map will make sense to you. And that's it. I'm going to zoom right out to show you the bigger picture to get a general idea of where we are on the planet, and then I'll zoom back into the particulars of our very vulnerable situation. You can see the last few hours of sailing before dark. We had the wind dead on the nose, so we were kind of tacking our way along. As it started getting dark, we realized we need a place to stay for the night. We only had half an hour till dark, so we were really low on options. So the best we can come up with was this almost bay looking thing. There's a little tiny mountain or big hill right here we were hoping would give us protection from northeast winds and east winds and south winds. It's 4 a.m. I'm going to try and show you on the instruments how our night has been. This is what a bad night at anchor looks like. This point here represents where we originally set the Rockna. We ended up having to put out a second anchor. We have a small 16-pound Bruce stern anchor that we use because with the currents and the winds being unsettled, we were just sort of swinging in every random direction, and we were constantly doing circles over the anchor. Circling over your anchor is a terrible, terrible thing to do. What you want to see when you anchor is you want to see the place where you set your anchor, and you want to see a nice, continuous, smooth arc showing your swing pattern. We've been all over the map. Eventually, to stop us from circling, we had thrown a stern anchor. I think when we were down here, we threw it out this way, and in short order, we just dragged all the way over. It hooked on a rock or something over here and held us firm that way, but we were slack on the main anchor, and we were hanging from the ass end. The back of the boat was hanging on the Bruce, so it was a bad way for us to hang. So then we kind of changed the Bruce anchor. We changed the Bruce anchor, and we managed to get it sort of uncleated off the back and around to the nose of the boat. So then we were on 2 anchors. The Bruce was holding somewheres around here, and the Rockna there. Then we let it out, and we were hanging off the 2 anchors on that wind direction. which is fine, and we stayed there for a while. Then the storm came and we came up, and then we started, and then all of a sudden the winds became 34 knots, and we started sliding back so far that I thought we were dragging both anchors and tangled them. At about here, in a panic, I started the motor, thinking, oh my god, we're going to drift into the shallows. Shore is that way, and this is shallow water. But at some point, right in the edge of shallow water, in about 16 feet of water, 17 feet of water, the two anchors must have kind of worked together and grabbed on something, and then we were hanging off the two. As the wind shifted for the We had a long, terrible night and pouring rain, 4 to 6 foot rolling swell trying to push us to shore. And when the sun finally did rise and we lifted the anchors, they were not buried in any mud or sand, and they lifted off the bottom easily. We were barely hanging on. This is what a very bad night at Anchorage looks like. I'd show you outside, but there's nothing to see but rain and fog. Night, guys. Hopefully we're safe when we get this posted.